You know those times of year when business just goes from a steady, manageable hum to an absolute frantic roar? Could be the holiday rush, could be a year-end close. Whatever it is, these seasonal peaks can push a company and its people right to the breaking point. Today, we're going to dive into how to not just survive these wild seasons, but actually use them to your advantage.
So let me just ask you, does the thought of your next busy season kind of fill you with dread? You know, the long hours, the pressure just mounting, that feeling of being completely underwater? It's a super common story, but you know what? It doesn't have to be yours. Let's break down why this keeps happening and what you can actually do about it.
So, the heart of the issue is what we call the seasonal overload problem. It's that classic picture where the wave of demand suddenly gets way bigger than the boat you've got to handle it. And that, right there, is where things can start to get messy. Let's give it a proper name though, a seasonal workload peak. It's any period when business demand just temporarily shoots past what your company can normally handle. And yeah, it's predictable, but that doesn't make it any easier to manage when you're working with a fixed team and a fixed budget. And listen, this pressure isn't just happening in one industry. I mean, think about retailers during the holidays, or finance teams totally buried in paperwork at the end of the year. You've got logistics companies dealing with these massive shipping spikes, and customer support teams on the front lines every single time a new product launches. Sound familiar? So this creates this really tough choice you have to make internally. On one side, you have the costly choice. Go hire more full-time people for what is, let's be honest, a short-term problem. That's expensive, it's slow. Then, on the other side, you have the burnout choice. Just pile all the extra work onto your existing team. Well, that leads to mistakes, morale plummets, and your best people start quitting. It really feels like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
But what if there was a third option? This is where we can start to unlock some flexible resources by using outsourcing, not as just a band-aid, but as a real strategic solution to this whole cycle.
Just imagine this for a second. Instead of a frantic, months-long hiring scramble, you get immediate access to a whole pool of trained professionals who are ready to jump in, like right now. They're there exactly when you need them, and when the peak is over, you can scale right back down. That's the power of flexibility. And this brings us to a really fundamental shift in how you think about your finances. The old model, right? Fixed labor costs. That means you're paying year-round for capacity you might only need for 2 or 3 months. The smarter model, though, variable expenses. It aligns your costs directly with the demand, protecting your budget and ultimately your profits. You know, this quote from our source material just nails it. Outsourcing converts fixed labor costs into variable expenses, improving budget management and protecting margins. So the big takeaway here is that this isn't just about shuffling workloads around. It's a strategic financial move that seriously benefits the business all year long.
Okay, but what about quality? That's a totally fair question. When the volume of work just skyrockets, it is so easy for standards to slip. So how in the world do you scale up without sacrificing the quality that your customers have come to expect?
Well, professional outsourcing partners are built for exactly this challenge. They run on a super rigorous system for reliability. It all starts with standardized processes, so everybody is working the exact same way. Then they build in quality control checkpoints all along the way to catch any errors. And finally, everything is measured against clear performance metrics and service level agreements, or SLAs, so you know precisely the level of quality you're going to get.
I mean, think about the speed of your operation during a peak season. For an internal team that is just completely overwhelmed, the turnaround time for a simple task can just balloon from a few hours to a few days. Everything grinds to a halt right when you need to be moving faster than ever.
And here's where the difference is just night and day. With an outsourced team, often working 24/7 across different time zones, that exact same task's turnaround time shrinks right back down to just hours. The work is literally getting done while your internal team is at home asleep, keeping the whole operation flowing. It's a game changer.
And let's not forget the incredible, positive impact this has on your own people. By absorbing all that excess work, you're not just cutting down on overtime, you are actively protecting your most valuable employees from burning out, and this frees them up from all that repetitive stuff so they can focus on the high-value strategic work that they were hired to do in the first place, the work that actually grows your business. Which brings us to the strategic long game, because this really isn't about just surviving the busy season anymore. This is about building a business model that lets you thrive all year round. Take a look at this chart. Before outsourcing, a peak season can mean your team spends a staggering 60% of their time on repetitive, draining tasks. That leaves only 40% of their brain power for the important, high-value work that drives innovation.
Now just look at this transformation. After you outsource those repetitive tasks, the numbers completely flip on their head. Your team is now spending 85% of their time on strategic work. Just think for a second about what your business could accomplish with that kind of focus.
Ultimately, what you gain here is a new superpower, agility. It's the ability to scale your operations way up to meet any demand and then scale right back down, all without the long-term financial risk of taking on permanent hires. In today's market, that kind of agility is a massive competitive advantage. So we'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Take a really hard look at your operations. Is your business truly built to scale with the seasons and to jump on new opportunities, or is it just built to survive them? The answer to that question could change everything.